Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another edition of Mark's Outdoor Adventures. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch the video. Sorry I didn't get one in last week. I was sick as a dog last week. I had a sinus infection and fever and still had to go to work and boy, I feel bad. Anyway, I'm better now. Antibiotics kicking in. I can finally kind of talk normal again after, probably 3 weeks of sounding like a robot or something. It was terrible. I had this horrible cough. My ribs were sore. I'd cough so much. I hope none of you guys get it. It was bad. I think I felt worse with that sinus infection than I did with my COVID I had back in December. Anyway, it is September. Transition time. Fish, the days are getting shorter. The temperatures are falling down. Like these last few nights have been 60 degrees in the morning. Boy, that feels good too. The highs in the upper 70s, low 80s, and so lake water temps are dropping. It's a great time to be on the water. They're going to start transitioning from that deep summertime hunt. They'll be moving up chasing bait fish. This time of year is when you want to really focus on bait fish type baits, crankbaits, spinner baits, buzz baits, whopper plopper, or the Berkley Choppo. I like the sound of the Berkley Choppo better than I do the whopper plopper actually. Anyway, you just want to focus on your shad colors for the most part. They're like bass if you're in a pond or a lake or river with a lot of grass, and these cool mornings start happening, that grass is going to start dying off. And when that grass starts dying off, those fish leaves because that dying grass affects how much oxygen's in the water. And so those bass are going to move out of the grass and they're going to go to either wood structure, rock structure, or wood cover, I should say. Wood cover or rock structures near where the grass has been at. That's where you'll start finding the bass. And if you got a lot of laydowns or something there fairly close, you can find them around those laydowns. If you go out a little ways from the grass bed, and have some rock piles or a rock ledge or river channel, creek channel, that's where the bass is going to pile up. You just got to follow them to where they're going. If they go to the wood cover, throw your jig, throw your plastics. You can throw spinner bait. You can throw buzz bait. You can throw the old swim jig. Swim jig's awesome too, and not only in shad colors, but in bluegill colors as well. You got to remember there's baby bluegill and baby crappie, baby sun perch, so you got to remember your bluegill colors along with your shad colors. Shad colors, of course, white, silver, white and black, silver and black back, by bone color. Just any shad color like that. Bluegill colors, you're going to have some either watermelon or green pumpkin color to it. Just depends what color the bait fish is in the area. But more for our area, if you're going down on the Arkansas River and stuff, you'll have the grass. But like more up in our area, Tenkiller, Table Rock, Beaver, Bull Shoals, Uchi, Grand, those fish are going to start moving shallower, and they are going to push bait fish into pockets right there off the main lake, or they're going to push them into a creek arm, and they'll be in the pocket off that creek arm, or maybe all the way to the back. Spots and smallmouth, those two they'll push them right there into a cove or a pocket off of a main lake, or pocket off of a main river channel. Lincoln 610-4. Pretty quick. Blacks have more of a tendency to push them all the way to the back of a creek arm, but you need to check those little pockets and small coves and stuff off the main river, off the main lake, and off the main creek channel that you may be going back into. They'll push those shad up in there. If they get a huge school of shad or a couple of schools of shad up in an area, they'll keep them there for a long time, feed on them. But you just want to check those areas for the shad population, and see if you can see any surface action, or see the bait fish and the bass with them, on your electronics. Another thing to think about is have you had a prevailing wind direction? A lot of time in this area we have a southwest to west wind. Most time it's southwest. So the northeast side of the lake, that's where you'll find most of the bait fish. It's not because the wind blows them over there. It's because the wind is blowing plankton and other stuff in the water that the shad feed on, pushes it across the lake to that side, and wherever the shad is at, that's where the bass is going to be at, to feed, to get their bellies full before winter gets here, and they become lethargic, don't move as much, and the bait doesn't move as much. So you want to pay attention to prevailing wind. But early in the mornings, late in the evenings, topwater can be great. Berkeley Chapo, a Whopper Plopper, a Buzzbait, any of those work great. Zara Spook type bait as well. All of those work great. Bone color, white, white and chartreuse, white and black, silver. You can use the old original Rapala stick bait, like a size 11 or a size 13. Most time it's size 11. Just the old silver side, black back Rapala is work it, right under the surface. They'll come up and smash it. They still smash that thing. Whopper Plopper, you can work them, in work those several different ways. You can reel it straight in, you can reel it and stop, you can twitch it, you know. You can do a lot of things with Whopper Plopper or Berkley Chopo. Like I said, I prefer the Chopo over the Whopper Plopper just because I like the sound it makes better. All those is great baits for early morning, late evening, or all day when it's cloudy. You can catch those fish surfacing, chasing those shad. And when you throw those baits early in the morning, late in the evening, you want to practically put it on the bank. And I mean, just run it just a foot to 15, 16 inches off the bank and parallel it, because those fish are going to be chasing those shad and those bluegill up there shallow. After you get 5 or 6 feet off the bank, you're pretty much out of the strike zone. I mean, you'll have one or two come up and smash into it and getting out there deeper, but for the most part, you want to be up there pretty much on the bank. Or that's my experience anyway. Some of you guys may have different experiences, but that's been my experience. Later in the day, sun starts coming up, they start getting a little deeper, throw the crankbait. You want to start throwing shad colored crankbait, the Rapala DTs, dives too, you got 6 and 8s and 10s and 14s and 16s and just use whatever bait's gonna cover the depth that the fish are that you want to fish. And but a crankbait is an awesome bait this time of year. I mean, awesome bait. I'll have a Spro rock crawler tied on. I'll have my old go-to Ghost Green, Phantom Green tied on, but I'll also have a DT 8 or 10 tied on, maybe a 14 tied on to work from the bank all the way out to 12, 14 foot deep. Also a spinner bait. You can slow roll spinner bait, start slow rolling spinner baits. Match the blades size to the size of the bait fish they're chasing. You can slow roll it, you can burn it across top. You can run it mid-level, whatever the depth the bass is, that's the depth that you want to run your spinner bait. Spinner bait comes back into play in September and October. But you definitely want to have your top waters and your crankbaits available, because they will be big players in the next couple of months while they're chasing shad in 3 months. Usually stays fairly warm here all the way into the first week or two of November. The first week or two of November, we'll usually hit our first big cold snap where it drops down 20s and 30s, and a lot of times we'll get a cold rain or our first little flurry of snow. But sorry, I'm tired already. I gotta go to 2 o'clock. But anyway, it's just that time of year where you need to be ready with those 3 baits, especially our top waters, spinner baits, and crankbaits. Those are 3 big players starting in September, with the water days getting shorter, temperatures getting cooler, water temperatures getting cooler to late. That fall transition turns on, and always watch for surfacing fish. This time of year, those fish are going to be busting them. You may be in 50 feet of water, and all of a sudden the water will just explode around you. Those fish chasing those bait fish to the top. I've watched it so many times on my electronics. I'd be drop shotting or something, fish, and see the big balls of bait down there, and you see the fish, and you drop shot to them, or throw a tube. Yeah, goodness. And all of a sudden the water just explodes. You throw your rod down, grab that top water, and go to work, or a fluke. That's another bait you want to have tied on this time of year too, is a fluke. They will work awesome this time of year around those surfacing fish and shallow fish. Another bait that a lot of people doesn't think about is the jerk bait. I hate throwing a jerk bait. I hate it. But that's a bait that you might want to think about taking with you. A lot of times you can catch those fish on a jerk bait that's suspended or out there on top of a treetop. Suspended out there in that treetop. But you want to think about the shad and bait fish this time of year. Try to match the hatch, and you should be able to load the boat that way. And a lot of times you catch some big ones this time of year, moving up, gorging on those shad. So don't think you're just going to catch small ones, because it's a good time of year to catch you a big old big one, I can guarantee you. But I guess that's about all for now. If you like the content of the video, hit subscribe and like it, and share it with your friends. And I guess I better get back to work and making the city a little more money. Anyway, you all have a great weekend. Be safe out there on the water. It's the weekend after Labor Day, so we should have our lake back. All the dang pleasure boaters and stuff should be winterizing their boat and getting the heck off the frickin' lake and out of our way, and not make it such a pain to fish where you want to fish. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next video.